Hello, family and friends. This is Pastor Lawson Boddie of Word of Life Christian Fellowship. I'm here to invite you to take part in a great endeavor that I know is going to bless your life. Starting on July 1st, we're embarking upon what we call One Day at a Time. One Day at a Time is a time of discipline and devotion that will make a difference in your life. This is what's going to happen. Starting on July the 1st, we'll be reading through the book of Proverbs by reading one chapter a day. Those chapters will correspond with the calendar date. So on the 1st, we'll be reading chapter 1. On the 5th, we'll be reading chapter 5. On the 8th, we'll be reading chapter 8, and so on and so forth until we get through the entire book of Proverbs. Now, as we read, we want to identify verses and pick out verses that really speak to us. There will be some truth that really stands out, maybe in a verse or two. We want to identify those verses. And when we identify those verses, we want to take a journal and write down the revelation and the inspirational thought that comes out of that verse that really impresses upon our heart. Now, it's going to speak truth to some areas in our life. And so we're going to take it a step further, and we're going to allow the truth to address an area in our life. And when we identify what area that is being addressed by the verse, by the revelation, by the inspiration, we are going to identify that area and submit it to some focused prayer. Now listen, while you have the journal, you ought to also journal and make an entry of what it is that you're praying about, what it is that you are seeking God after, what you're really focused on submitting to God in prayer. Finally, what we're going to do is that we're going to take all of that each day and we're going to flood social media using the hashtag One Day at a Time. Again, hashtag One Day at a Time. We're going to flood social media with the verses that speak to us, with the revelations, with the thoughts, with the inspirations, and even with some of the prayers. We want to create a movement even in the social media world. Listen, I always say that even my space is his space. And so we want to create an avenue for ministry to happen even in the cyber world. So listen, starting on July 1st, which is tomorrow, we're going to be embarking upon this, and I want you to be a part. Again, it's a time of discipline and devotion that will make a difference. Why don't you join us? I hope you will. God bless.